Everybody, welcome back with another episode of the Binding of Isaac Repentance. What do we need? Maggie, you need Satan. Cain, you need Satan too. Sure. Oh, I screwed up. I already have breed mode with you. Be gone, witch. So that was embarrassing. That was extremely embarrassing. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I screwed that up. The seed is MMMCTZ0C. MMM. Mega Mommy Mondays. Oh, absolutely. Mega Mommy Mondays? This better go out on a Monday, because I guarantee you it's probably not. Mega Mommy Mondays? That has to be a real thing. There's no way I created that on my own. Mega Milker Mondays? It's always got to end with an M. Mega Maggie Monday. There you go. That's an age appropriate one, I guess. I don't know where my mind is going. I blame Shantae. There's a card on her on my desk from Limited Run Games. It's her and in a swimsuit with a buddy. I blame society. I blame these characters over sexualize female characters, just like Maggie over here. It's wrong. But actually that could be a real topic, because I watched the video, which is a very famous video if you haven't seen it, and it's a woman I think on like Fine Brothers. Don't even get me started on them. Elders React or whatever. Remember when that was popular, and then we figured out they were an evil company? Yeah, awesome. But it's one of those things where I can't believe, you know, the statement was like, oh, this is why I hate video games. They over sexualize to men. Did you know, like, this is what the heck? Oh, really? Did you know this is full fact via if you want to accept it or not? There are more female gamers than male gamers. I didn't make that up. That is a recent study. I think it was in 2019. Like, doesn't that, like, for me, that blew my mind, because growing up in a small town in New Jersey, first of all, I didn't know many females, first of all. But second of all, I don't think it was culturally accepted back then. I don't think it's culturally accepted now, if I'm gonna be honest, which is stupid. Like, we've all seen videos, you know, and I gotta play devil's advocate after I say the statement. But women, especially with voice chat, they definitely get crapped on for being a woman, and they play, oh crud, oh buddy, they play almost, if not better than most men, you know. What the heck was that? Why am I doing so much better? But I truly believe in that. I think people need to grow the F up, first of all, because I just don't understand it. Via male, female, whatever, you know, I just don't understand it. I genuinely don't. I mean, like, is that such a big deal? I mean, I personally don't think video games are over they're not catered to men anymore. I think that's horse manure to the woman that said that, first of all. And yeah, don't get me wrong, yeah, there are totally games out there that over sexualize women. Absolutely, you cannot deny me that fact, where they're just over sexualized for no reason except sales, because sex sells. I mean, that's the real variety of it. And don't get me wrong, there was a point in culture where women that played video games basically showed their boobles a lot. It's just true, look it up. Where if you were a hard, yes, absolutely, one of my favorite items of all time, absolutely. If you were like a hard gamer, okay, and you were a male, let's say live streaming, and you streamed every day, you could not compete with the women years ago, even still currently, that live stream. There's no way. I mean, just call it a day, because there's no way you're winning. But also, do you blame the women for using what they have to their advantage, or do you blame the men for basically encouraging it, where it's just like a double-edged sword? You cannot control the gender, you just can't. All right, yeah, heck, you may even say, oh man, it's degrading to women to even do that. I mean, for me, yeah, to a certain point it is, but it's their choice. You know, you gotta support how smart they are. You know, that's just it. Where there's no way that if you support it, and like if it affects you, if you're a live streamer and you're just like, oh man, this is ridiculous, you know, they're showing their tatas and everything, and you know, I'm not getting any views for it, but oh man, I love it. No, you can't complain at that point. There's no way that you could complain. And it makes, what is this, Terra born to rock? Okay. All right, that's pretty baller. Oh yeah, I can't spend any cents. That's fine. I like this born to rock. Kingdom Hearts reference, by the way. There's just no way you could complain. I'm sorry, you just can't. And if you're one of those people, I do not feel bad for you in any way, shape, and form. But hey, it's just fathomable. You know, I think times in the nerd culture have changed dramatically. Okay, there was a point where I'm gonna open up, and you're gonna laugh because it's gonna sound so stupid. I was terrified of cosplayers and cosplayer girls in general. I was terrified. Joe, you may ask, why were you terrified? It would give me so much hope as a nerd, where I'm just like, yeah, no, if you cosplay and you like me, I'd probably just date you on the spot if I was younger. I'm like, I've never met a cosplayer. I would love to now, because I'm not afraid of them, because, you know, I'm more mature and my brain has opened up. But I'm like, I've told myself, where I'm like, I can't meet a cosplayer. I can't meet a cosplayer girl, because they're a nerd. I can't handle girl nerd. I couldn't. And it's really funny to really like look at that, because, you know, being a loner for so long and like not having much interaction, you know, I don't think hurt me. Like, I had no interaction with females until I was probably about high school. How insane was that? How insane is that? Like, I just didn't know what to do. I don't want to say I was shy now, because to a certain extent, yeah, I was, but also on the other hand, I wasn't, where I just didn't know what to say. And like, I could hold a conversation with a plant. That doesn't sound good, but I'm like, oh my god, you know, I don't know how to talk to females. I was always very shy. I was the poetic type where I'm just like, oh, fair maiden, I would rather write thou a poem than speak with thee. And that was my way in, where I'm just like, okay, well, if they talk to me, like if they talk to the poem, then I feel like this is the secret room. If they rely on thou poem, then I shall talk. And I've told the story many times before on Twitch and everything, and one of the saddest moments of my life was when I was in high school. I saw this girl, and I was new to this school, and I moved back to Jersey my senior year because I wanted to finish where I started, basically, and not finish in Arizona. And I wrote this girl a poem, and they didn't know it was me, and I like poured my heart and soul into it, and I sat in the back of the class and just observed, seeing that she got the note and everything. And then she like read it and laughed and just threw it in the garbage, like right in front of my face. And I was just like so defeated. I'm like, no. And that I had a few morals in high school where I'm like, there's no way that I could get into a relationship in high school, or like a fling, or whatever kids call it, because I'm like, I know it wouldn't last, because I just didn't want to get hurt, and I thought the worst, where I'm just like, well, it's very possible that high school relationships aren't going to work out and everything. I didn't use technology at the time. Like, I didn't have Facebook, I didn't have the Twitter machine. This was before Instagram and Twitter, Snapchat. Like, my phone back in the day was a very old text phone that it was just outdated. And I knew, like, if people saw my phone, you know, they'd gawk and laugh and everything. I thought it was really neat, but you know, that's a person that still says the word neat, so take that as you will. But I was devastated. I was hurt, and you know, that was my fault for like giving in. How am I doing that? How am I doing that? I don't know. But yeah, the female form to me was very interesting. Like, some people will say like it's very cute because it's just like, well, you know, I don't raise my voice at women. Like, I live by a gentleman's code, you know. There's certain things that you should do, and you know, I don't really play favoritism to different sexes. I don't really care, if I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, certain people may treat that, but no, trust me, I'm definitely equal, because certain things, like it's a weird thing. It's definitely a weird thing when you have certain aspects that you want to keep, but you know, you also don't want to be taken advantage of. When I was an adult, another thing that happened was, you know, I was at the point where I'm out of the military. You know, I was thinking like, I'm a good catch. You know, I'm decent looking. I'm like a 7 out of 10 personality wise. I think I'm good with charisma. It's just like, well, I'm like at least a 70, you know, at least, you know, I got a haircut. I'm feeling like a 72. like right on the money. So I have a way with talking, you know. I think one of my best features is my voice. I am very, if I have something on my mind, I just talk about it. And somehow, some way, I was talking to this this girl that I don't get signals a lot. Like I'm flippin' oblivious to like signals. I'm like, I don't know what you're doing. And I just like, oh, okay, you know, monkey see, monkey do, you know, you send me like a winky face or whatever. I'll send a winky face because I just don't realize it. And that came out wrong because it's just like, well, maybe a winky face means something else. No, it was just like, well, how about let's grab lunch, because, you know, that's just an easy way. Personally, for me, I think is just a nice way to get a conversation going. You know, it's just nice. You know, that's just how I put it, where it's just a nice thing to do. And lo and behold, unfortunately, what happened was at the end of the date, the girl basically says, "Oh yeah, I was just using you for a free meal." And like, I was like, whoa. Like, I'm like, well, why are you telling me this? Because you were so nice to me, and you know, I never been treated nicely. And I simply put, maybe you're like interested in like the wrong kind of men or people or whatever. But I was just thrown back. I'm like, whoa, I should have went in that curse room. Like, you're telling me this because I was just so nice to you, and you know, you still didn't want to give it a shot. And you know, I was hurt definitely for a few weeks after, I'm not gonna lie. But you know, without that, who knows what could have happened. You know, everything generally happens for a reason. I'm one of those types of people for sure, where no matter what, good or bad, everything happens for a reason, you know. And it took me really getting like kicked in the face and development in that regard, like, which was good. I'd rather have it like out of the way than like, oh man, like having like obliviousness like through and through. And I was just like, whoa, it's just a mind F. And for me, this is why I always say to people, like, one thing that, you know, keep an eye out for is just like subtle hints, because it may just go over your head. Take time to think about what you're doing and what you're saying. That's fine. I don't even want to deal with the devil. I got money equals power. And everything is just interesting. You know, for me, I wasn't cultured, you know. With race, we had one African American kid, we had one Mexican kid growing up in school. You know, I didn't really care. And then when I met other nationalities, I'm like, yeah, and so like I give everybody a shot, because I'm like, I don't know who the hell you are. I don't really like look at that. And that was the funniest thing, because, you know, normally if you're not cultured, you know, you shun people away or whatever because you're just not attuned. And when I started meeting people of different cultures, I was old enough really to make my own decisions, where I'm like, yeah, and like, you think I care who you are? Like, and especially when I went in the military, like, people didn't understand that. Like, people were crapping on other people, and I'm like, no, like, I just don't see it. I don't see it like that, where I'm like, we're all here for the same purpose, and I don't know who the hell you are, you don't know who the hell I am. Let's make this work. And unfortunately, looking back on it, it sort of bit me in the ass real good. I think I'm allowed to say ass. I hope that's all right. I normally I don't curse, but I don't think that's a curse word. If it is, I'll bleep it out. But I'm highly censored with the Binding of Isaac, by the way. But what happened was, when I was in the military, is another reason why I became platoon leader is simply I was nice, and they just didn't fathom it. They're like, what's wrong with you? Like, are you challenged or something? I'm like, no. I'm like, yeah, but no. Like, and unfortunately, how it went was, I could have been in like very high up on the food chain because of my niceness, and they basically said, yeah, we don't see niceness. You're taking time out of your day to like shred papers, do chores around the barracks, and like they never seen that before in all their years. And I didn't really care, because I'm just like, well, I wanted stuff to do, you know. This is my home too. Just because other people aren't offering, you know, that it doesn't matter. Or like, if somebody forgot like a uniform, I would just give them mine, and then I would take the blame. And then, you know, they just didn't fathom that. I'm like, yeah, I don't care if I get in trouble as long as I'm helping somebody out. That's how my brain processed, you know, knowing right from wrong, and how it didn't process other things, which was quite interesting, you know. Of course, like I said, looking back on it, you know, there are certain traits where I hope I never run into. Like, this is still fact to this day. If you dress up as Laura from Spyro and you play Laura really well, I wouldn't know what to do. I'd probably spaz out right then and there, because it's just like, I've never met a cosplayer. I don't want that to be my first cosplayer thing, where I'm just like, oh, all right, you know, give me dress up as like flipping SpongeBob or something. I don't understand. Like, it does not compute to me. And for me, I just think of myself as like a weird kid. I really do, because I just, not knowing, that's tempting, not knowing certain things that, you know, normal teenagers should know about. Yeah, I just didn't get it. And you know, that's funny and like weird at the same time as well. Spiders, you legit need to die. Spiders are the worst enemy in this game. Come fight me, bro. It's just not fun. It's genuinely, well, I could just do this for days, so that's fine. Let me know if you like had any trials and tribulations, like being social or anything in between, because, you know, online is way different than in real life. You know, that's just fact. And for the longest time, like, here's another thing that I'm really gonna get emotional. Okay, that needs to go bye-bye. I could go to the womb, but it's not really gonna help me out. I never thought that real life or online friends would be considered friends. I didn't know that. I genuinely did not know that until probably when I started streaming. I just didn't understand it. I'm like, how is this possible? I don't understand this. And you know, it took me a while to really like rely on people online, if that makes sense. Yeah, I had no idea there could be items here. I had no flippin' idea until now. I think that was worth. I think that was way worth. But unfortunately, you know me, I like playing devil's advocate. Where unfortunately what happened was I was scared. I was genuinely scared because people don't realize with online friends, they disappear more quickly, and you can't blame them for that. You know, it's online, and that's what I was afraid of. I'm like, I'm putting all this time and investment into, you know, what could be an amazing relationship, and I just get hurt at the end of the day, and it sucks. I mean, it generally sucks, and you know, nobody knows what to do. And I'm just like, well, what do I do? You know, I don't. There's certain things where I just don't know to do because I've never done it before. Where I'm like, okay, well, if you liked me, you know, you would watch the stream or whatever. What is this? What is this one again? The Station 2. And I just didn't fathom it. You know, I think it was well fair, you know, of me just to be like, yeah, no, I'm scared, hear me out. I don't understand, you know. And I was very open, and just to be like, well, I'm just afraid on me getting hurt, and I don't think a lot of people really understood that. Be like, what do you mean? And not really having a lot of, you know, wisdom in a way of regard, and growing up in such a different way. It makes it sound like I was like Amish or something. Well, I wasn't. This is gonna be real tricky. But no, it was just a different growing up in a small town. Wait, hold on, let's see if I remember the song. No, just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Yeah, that's it. It's just a very interesting fact where it's just like, well, I'm just afraid. I'm just afraid because everybody that I got attached to leaves, you know, and you're eventually gonna leave, so why put in the effort? That's just generally how I put it. I'm not gonna say this is bad by any means, but the Emperor card looks more tasty than this. Okay, so yeah, I'm way past the Fool right now. Emperor. Yeah, Emperor, and that's it. Okay. Thank you for your service. Bye bye. But I think that's fair. That's very fair to say. Where I'm just like, yeah, I was afraid of just being hurt, and you're gonna hurt me, and I don't really want to accept that because, you know, I feel attached in one way or another, and may sound pathetic, but it's very honest. It's very true. Where that's why I generally stayed away from media for so long. And granted, if you're a follower, I apologize for not being super active. You need guy, because I'm just like, well, I just don't know how to react. I don't know how to post. And how I put it, where it's just like, it's not that I don't care, because obviously I do. I wouldn't be making content every day if I didn't care. It's just hard. It's just really hard for me because, you know, I am not the type of person to post stupid things. I sort of like say what's on my mind, and that's virtually about it. Or I'm like 9 times out of 10 I post that here anyway. Like if I have a rant to get off my chest or whatever, then I just do it like that. And like some people really enjoy it, some people don't. Like we've hit so many interesting topics that I think a lot of people, being no matter who you are, could be going through the process. Like, oh man, I'm a girl gamer maybe, and like, yeah, I'm offended to that, you know, or whatever the case may be. And I like reading comments because sometimes, you know, there's always a good topic in there, especially when I did the podcast as well. There were so many different things just to talk to where, you know, I don't there's a mixed bag in, you know, the way I definitely play Isaac for sure, because sometimes, yeah, I talk about the game because it's a fast run or like a good run or whatever the case may have you. It needs to be said, and that's it, you know. But for me, I generally like saying just what's on my mind, and you know, be it if you agree with me or don't, that's your prerogative, and I'm not asking you to. I just want you to be like, wow, this guy's pretty interesting, this guy's pretty different. And like, don't get me wrong, I do not try to be different. 1000% no, because, you know, I never fit in the crowd, why start now? And like, if I become a top YouTuber, awesome, you know, just like awesome. I try just to enjoy it. I try to have fun in my own very special way, and like, if people like it, that makes me make it want to do better. And you know, everybody has their 2 cents, and which I love. You know, you should have your 2 cents. Maybe you're not old enough, or maybe you just don't care, but you're still here for the Isaac content. I truly don't know, you know. Abso-friggin-lutely. You know, I appreciate you nonetheless. You're giving me the time of day. I'm just giving you maybe 15 minutes to an hour and a half of Isaac per day, you know, and that makes me feel stupid happy, because, you know, we obviously have something in common. You know, you're probably more beautiful than I am, because I'll never accept that. I am. I'll lie to you and be like, oh yeah, I'm totally beautiful. And just like facing deep down where I'm just like, you know, a lot of people say, dude, you're Joe, you're not a 7, or like you're like a 10 or whatever. I'm like, let's be real here. And then I have to counter the point of like, no, this is another thing that gets me really upset, really upset. And this goes for males and females, so or everybody. I'd much rather use word everybody, because I personally don't like, you know, excluding anybody. You know, what if you don't identify as one of those? I don't really know. But I personally feel like you need to look yourself in the mirror and be honest and rate yourself. First of all, if you're one of those people that needs other people's validation, first of all, you need to grow up. It's like real talk there. I don't want to be mean, and I don't count myself as mean, but you don't need validation by anybody else. All right. You got to acknowledge you before anybody else could acknowledge yourself. Second of all, media has tainted what good-looking people are. I truly wholeheartedly think that as human beings, we are on media almost constantly in one way or another, and nobody could rate yourself. You know, you're either a 0 in somebody else's mind or you're a 10. There's no in between. And I'm like, no, I give myself a solid 7 because I feel like that's where I'm at. Like, you could be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm a perfect 10, and I'm like, no, I don't believe in anybody's perfect. We as humans have each other's flaws, and being 7 doesn't necessarily mean I'm average. It's just what I feel comfortable at, you know, be it mentally, physically, and everything. I don't portray myself as being anything from media. You know, I don't really look at people like that. I can't even rate anybody else without knowing their personality, if I'm gonna be honest. And I think if my idea of like a perfect person is Alora from friggin' Spyro, yeah, you shouldn't probably be taking judgment from me. But on like the real test of time, like it's totally true. I mean, we have more people complaining about weight than ever, and you know, people blame that to COVID, but in the United States we've always had that problem. And one thing that I don't really like is we as humans also would rather make solutions or blame somebody else than accept like, oh crap, I need to work on this. You know, when I got a little fat, I mean, this was, well, I'm not going to say post-COVID because apparently COVID's still going on, but I had to take a long hard deep at myself, and I said, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with this, and I had to work on it, and I had to really have discipline. And I think people just want an instant solution as well, and they're just like, I need this fixed now, let me pay for it, or whatever the factor may be. And I just like rewarding myself, because that's my reward. Yeah, it sucks eating healthy food and everything, you know, some of it may not be as tasty or whatever, but I'm just like, well, if this is for me, then I'm worth the pain. I'm generally worth the pain at the end of the day. And you know, I think we need to all work on ourselves a little bit, because if you're a perfect 10 and you say you're a perfect 10, I commend you. You know, point blank, I commend you for that. I wish I could look myself in the mirror and be like, I'm a perfect 10, because I'm not. I'm really not, and I don't want to be. If I say myself's a perfect 10, what do I have to look forward to? What do I have to work on the next day? That's how my brain works, where I'm just like, man, when I wake up the next day, I want to work on this and just be happy overall. And you know, that was one of my flaws, where I wasn't happy. I genuinely was not happy, and I had to work on that. I had way too much negativity, and that was the hardest thing I had to do. Point blank. Being unhappy and figuring out what really made me happy, I couldn't ask for anything better than that. I would prefer to have a full charge on my active item. Thank you. Wow, that is extremely nice. So now the question is, I have my full charge now. Do I go? Absolutely. You could die though. That'd be swell. But no, I think we all need to work on something each and every day. I don't even know what I was getting hit on. A little scary. Sorry if I was quiet. Hey, I did it. No. Oh, crud. Oh, you already have delirium though. You already have delirium, so I could sort of just call it then. Watch me die here. Yeah, I'll die because I'll end it here. Oh my god, I thought the other one was dead. I will end it here because the conversation is a little over. But no, let me know personally deep down. I was gonna say rate yourself, because but that's a hard question. You know, what's something you personally think you could improve on? Like I said, my main thing is I feel like I was a very angry person until like I needed to get better. I was just angry. I just, people say I was making their lives better, but I disagreed because I just wasn't calm-headed. I really wasn't. But that was one thing where I'm just like, that was a hard pill to swallow too, where I'm just like, dude, your content sucks. You're screaming all the time. Some people like it, some people don't. And you know, having that chip on your shoulder saying like you don't care, you know, obviously you do if you're gonna do it every day. You know, it was one of those things where I'm just like, yeah, nobody could fix this but myself. The reason why I'm still going is, one, the conversation, and two, there's a very, very small potential I could get Daddy's Key. I don't think it's called Daddy's Key. Hey, Greed, where were you the whole game? I needed you. Alright, well, I needed you, buddy. First, I didn't get you. Wow, how strong are you? How friggin' strong are you right now? But no, it's just an interesting fact. Sure. Dude, I didn't even know I didn't even have to fire. I had no idea. Alright, well, go directed tiers, I guess. Yeah, this is a very cool run at the end of it. I like it quite a lot. Because not firing is super nice. Excuse me, I thought I had the friggin... Am I dead? Get me out of here. Yeah, no, I'm done. I thought I had the Emperor card. No, I'm done now. But no, definitely smiling more and just being happy more. Doing stuff for me as well. But that is going to be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed the rants here. We definitely, I didn't stop talking until beginning to end. But, I hope you thought about what I said, and I hope you enjoyed the content, the run. If you did, we got Maggie's faith. If you like what you saw and heard today, please do consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. This has been Joe Wilde Plays. I hope you're happy because you made me happy by watching this video. Take care, and bye-bye.